Hey everybody, so I am back to working on the Toyota again. Went ahead and to start doing the oil pump side of this, or looking at it. I went ahead and put this on jack stands just because it's a whole lot easier to get in here, get to the timing belt cover and all that other stuff with the tire out of the way. And what I do working outside, since you're in the dirt, I put my jack stands on pieces of plywood, and that helps a lot in case we get some rain. You know, you don't want your jack stands sinking in. Then I went ahead and put the ramps under the back tires to get the car sitting a little more level. There's that. And then to get to the timing belt, of course I had to take the alternator belt off, which is, well, it's an alternator, AC, I guess that's all that does, and the crankshaft pulley. Anyway, so you just loosen this adjustment here, this bolt. You can get that belt out of the way. The power steering belt, you've got an adjustment bolt right there, and then this is the pivot bolt right there. If you can see that, I don't know. Let's see. The phone's blocking the sun, so I don't know. Anyways, it's there. You loosen that. So first thing I noticed when I took the upper timing belt cover off, this belt is super loose. So that, that didn't happen before because we were still driving the car. So I think when I was turning the crankshaft back and forth to get to the main bearings and stuff like that, and the rod bearings, something must have come apart in there. The other thing, a lot of little metal shavings. I don't know if they show up here, but on this idler pulley here, tons of little metal shavings inside the actually the dust cover. Let me show you that. Looks like the belt was actually rubbing on the cover here, so that ain't supposed to be happening. But a lot of little metal shavings in this, inside this cover too. So I have not pulled this lower cover off yet, but I highly suspect we're going to find a whole lot of carnage down in there, because there's just, the further down you look in there, the more metal shavings you find or see. So something must have failed on that oil pump. But let's pull this cover off and see what we shall see. You can even see I had replaced this gasket. It's kind of just a little dust seal really, but I had replaced that a while back. This oil pump was originally leaking when I bought this car, and there's an O-ring that goes around here. I'll show you better when I get this cover off, but I had replaced that O-ring once, and then the seal on the pump shaft itself, right where the pulley is, I replaced that twice. So hopefully this isn't anything I did, that I left something loose or whatever, which I kind of doubt, because it's lasted, I don't know, thousands and thousands of miles. So I would think I did everything correct. But let me see if we can get this loose from up here. I think I got all the bolts out. Maybe. And some metal shavings in there. Wow. Definitely not what I expected. That is pretty wild. So the oil pump itself, the shaft looks, how in the heck does that happen? It's like the pulley has completely separated from the center, or wore out. That turns still. Wow. I have never seen anything like that happen. So it looks like it was rubbing here. Well, and it's rubbing all around here. That's where all the metal aluminum shavings were. That is pretty wild though. Let me see if I can tell. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned you got to take the crankshaft pulley off after you get the power steering belt off, of course, to get that dust cover. But yeah, dang, that's pretty wild. Let me see what we can tell, or if we can tell. Oops, sorry. So this timing belt's not that old. Probably not going to replace it. Maybe, I don't know, I'll take a look at it. But one nice thing about these motors, they're not interference motors. So if anything were to break, I mean, yeah, it's an inconvenience. I don't know, it's got quite a bit of oil on it. It's probably worth just replacing it now. And I won't have to mess with it again for, I don't know, normally I say do belts. I know like manufacturers usually say every 60,000. I like to do mine every 50, especially if it's a car that's an interference motor. But being that this is not an interference motor, I would probably push it 60, 70, whatever. I don't know. Depends on what else I got to do to the car. But anyways, this is pretty wild. I have never seen a pulley break like that. So what's kind of odd, well, I guess it just stopped pumping oil, so that's why it started knocking and stuff. So I don't know how those little flakes, I mean, which those few little flakes I found were very minimal. I was kept expecting to see more than, way more than that. So I guess probably having known this, I probably would have just done the oil pump. But since I've already pulled the main bearings to take a look at them, which I probably would have done anyways, because if I just came across this first, I don't know that I would have still suspected that there could have been damage on the main bearings, and I probably would have taken it all apart to check it out and see. And like I say, once the oil pan's off, to do the oil pump. And I don't know, I said the oil pan has to come off to do the pump. In my mind, it does. I mean, I don't know if there is enough room. Yeah, I don't see how you could do it without, but I don't know. Some people know some tricks. But because the only thing I was thinking is to get in there and somehow get the oil pump pickup tube unbolted. But I don't see how you could do that without pulling the pan, then pulling the motor. But all right, well, I'm going to head to U-Pull-It today because they got a few vehicles in recently that I'm interested in that I could use some parts off of. So I'm going to head up there. I usually try to go up there. I like to go up there about once a week, but of course I only get up there like maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, if you know. But and sometimes I'll go up there, find something pretty good, and then I'll head back the day after if I don't have time to get it or don't have the right tools to get it or something. But the other things I didn't mention, there's an engine brace that goes from down there. It's this one here, and then that also goes to like your little, a lot of people call it the dog bone, or the upper mount goes from here to here. That's going to come off. So there's a few things that come off to get out of the way, but it's not too bad. Once you get good at it, probably about an hour, I would guess. First time might be 2 hours, learning everything, figuring out where the bolts are and stuff. But anyways, so I guess definitely be getting an oil pump, and I guess a new oil pump pulley. That's pretty weird. I don't know what could have caused that. Odd. So anyways, at least we found the problem. Probably am still going to do, like I say, rod main bearings because I've already taken it apart. And I know once I put this thing back together, hopefully, if I do everything right, you know, motor should last me for the life of the car. I tend to keep my cars for a long time, so I would hope to see 300, maybe 350,000 miles out of this car. So anyways, well, thanks for watching. I'll let you know when we get the oil pump and start putting it back together.